Hello everybody, my name is CJ1M, and first of all I'd like to thank you all for subscribing and watching my last video. My last video has reached over 200 views and I now have over 30 subscribers, which is quite a lot for me. So today I'm going to be discussing data types, which is a variable or variables. I touched on it last week, but I'm going to go into depth in it this week. So what I did last week was we did hello world, which displayed a string. So I'm going to make a string word which is equal to hello, this is a sentence with punctuation and semicolon. So that really should be words. It doesn't matter, you can name this whatever you want, by the way. So hello, this is a sentence, and we can print this out, control space, words, and that will print out this variable. And we can say this is a sentence. We can also declare this just by doing string words, but then you'll notice we get an error here, so we need to initialize the variable, which we can do underneath. And do words equals hello world, for example. But we won't worry about this at the moment. I've touched on it. I will make sure to go into more detail in another video. Okay, so that was a string. Now say you want to display a number, which you can do in a string like this. String number equals 222. But this is taking it in as a word, whereas what we want to do is just make it equal to 2, which we can't do in a string. We need this to be an int or an integer. So here we are, int, and int number equals 2, and we can display this number by sussing out number, and here we are, 2. So this is any natural number. It's a 32-bit number and it cannot have decimal places at the end. If you do want decimal places, we're going to need a float. So a float lets you have decimal places at the end, but you need to remember the f. The float is just a 32-bit number, but you can obviously have decimal points at the end, which is very helpful in some cases. So yeah, and we can just print this out, control space, number, and run that, print out that number, except I think it might have rounded it, because we may need a double in this case, double which is like a float, but I think it can hold more than a float. So number 2 equals, we'll do copy this, and we don't need the f in the end, and we'll suss out number 2. Yeah, and there we go, we've got a much more accurate reading as opposed to the float, which only goes up to, what's that, 6, 2, 4, 6, 7 decimal places. Whereas this can go on pretty long. I'm not exactly sure how long, but it can go pretty long. Now, both of these are used a lot. Some people prefer floats over doubles. I tend to use floats when I'm developing a game because a lot of the game libraries use floats for positions and all that. But I have used doubles, and doubles are useful. Random numbers, which I'll talk about in another video. Random numbers return a double value because they are a decimal place between 1 and 0. So yeah. Moving on, these are some rarely used variables such as long, which it's not common, but it's not uncommon either. So long number this is very much like an integer, except it's 64-bit, and you usually use longs when you're dealing with milliseconds in time, but apart from that, I haven't really used longs. Another one like a long is a short, which is the opposite, I suppose. So short number. I've never used this, and I doubt I will very much in the future. We can sys out this, by the way, just like a long. We can sys it out, and we should get 12, just as usual. But I don't think this can hold as many digits as, say, an integer. So yeah, I think that's all my the data types I was going to talk through. So yeah, thanks for watching. We've gone through 4 of the main data types. Stay tuned for more, subscribe, and goodbye.